Hey everyone, Preeti here. Today I'll be sharing with you guys a list of some of the most anticipated books on my TBR for this winter 2017. There are some really good ones on this list, so I'm very excited to share them with you. These books are basically ordered by more or less when they release in the schedule. So the books that are earlier in the list will be released earliest. The first book on my list is Mafiosa by Catherine Doyle. This is the third book in the Blood for Blood series, and I feel like the series isn't very well known, but if I had to describe it, I would definitely say that it's like Twilight but with a Mafia twist. And I didn't like the first one very much. I saw many Twilight references, which was fine, but I didn't like the love interest, and then it was just kind of dull, but there was always this one character who always like piqued my interest, and then at the end, turns out this character is a pretty important character and things happen, and then the second book totally completely fixes on their relationship, which I think is why people get hooked on the series, because of the ship. The ship is super swoony and, you know, with a mafia twist on it, and it's just really cool. So I highly recommend the series if you haven't read it yet. It's not something super serious that you need to like think about and like concentrate on to understand, but it's just a really fun read, and sometimes you need one of those, and this is a great series for that, so I'm very excited to read it. Plus the covers are gorgeous, and I love gorgeous covers. The next book on my list is Roseblood by A.G. Howard. If you don't know this author, this is the author of Splinter, the Alice in Wonderland retelling. I actually only read the first book in that series, but I will admit that the writing is amazing. The entire series is probably amazing. The first book was really good. I'm not actually sure why it didn't continue. I guess I just didn't have time and got caught along in the sweep of other books, but that happens. So I'm not sure if I'll ever go back to this series, but this new book, Roseblood, looks really good, and the cover is of course gorgeous, and I don't know if you noticed, but it is a retelling of Phantom of the Opera, which is why the guy on the cover has a mask, and I'm just really excited because I only read, I never read Phantom of the Opera, but I watched it a few summers ago and really enjoyed it despite how weird it was, and I can honestly say that I've never seen a YA retelling or any retelling at all of Phantom of the Opera, so I'm very excited to see what the author does with this. The next book is A Perilous Undertaking by Deanna Raybourn. This is the second book in the Veronica Speedwell series. If you guys don't know, Deanna Raybourn is one of my absolute favorite authors. She writes the best historical mystery romances, and they're just so good. Her other series was Lady Julia Gray, and I've read all the books. It's way up there on my favorites list, so if you have not heard me recommend it to you, this is me officially recommending it to you, and you have to read it and then tell me all about how you enjoyed it. I actually recommended it to a friend this year, and she read it and loved it, and I'm just really happy because it's not just me, it's a genuinely really good book, and you should read it too. So this book is, the whole series actually, the Veronica Speedwell series is a lot like that series. Honestly, it has like a lot of similar tropes and things too. I guess it could become a bit old eventually, but I'm hoping that with the second book she takes things a bit further. The first book was really fun, but I do hope that this next one will delve deeper into emotions and angst and everything. And the murder mysteries are wonderful, and it's very hard to guess who the actual murderer is in the series. Well, in any of Raybourn's books, honestly, so I'm very excited for that aspect as well. Caraval by Stephanie Garber is next on the list, and I know that this has been described as a YA version of The Night Circus, which I actually have not read, but I've heard very good things about. Other than that, I'm actually not completely sure what it's about, but I've just heard so much hype since way back in the beginning of 2016, and I'm just going to go into it blindly and hopefully be amazed. Please don't tell me what it's about if you've read it or if you know what it's about, because I'm just so excited, so hyped up, and I just hope it lives up to the expectations that everyone has brought upon it. Next we have a Casey West book, By Your Side. Her last book was P.S. I Love You, and I actually have not read that yet. I know it's a pen pal romance, but I haven't been in the mood for one of those. I eagerly put the book on my TBR when I first heard of the novel, but after that I just haven't been in the mood. I'm always more of an angsty reader, an angsty romance reader. So what I love especially about this one is that what we have is the main character. She gets stuck in a library, which first of all is the best setting ever that you can have for any book. And so she's stuck in the library with a bad boy, or at least everyone thinks that he is a bad boy, and I can feel all the potential, and I'm just so excited, and it better live up to its potential. And with Casey West it usually does. I have not disliked any one of her books, and I'm sure that this will follow the same pattern. But I mean, hello, please just like leave a thumbs up if you're excited for this too, because it sounds freaking amazing, and I'm sure it will be. Royally Matched by Emma Chase is the next book in our list, and this is the second book in the Royally Screwed book that I reviewed on my blog last year. I'll leave a link below down in the description if you're interested, and that was such an amazing book. I audiobooked it on my commute to campus, and I could not stop. I would literally sit in my car after class and just listen to it because it was so freaking good. And I've recommended it to so many people, and I don't think any one of them have actually read it yet, but I guarantee that it is totally worth everything. Just read the description, and I don't know, it's super, super great. And then the covers have like six-packed guys all over it, which is wonderful. But yeah, so I love how this mixes royalty and like non-proper courtships, and they're just super cute, and I love it. It's a guilty pleasure, but I don't even care because it's amazing. Definitely one of the better contemporary romances I've read. And they're new adult too, and I'm always on the lookout for a good new adult read. Last but not least, the final book on our list is not unexpected. It is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I have been a fan of hers for a while. The first book I read of hers was The Archived, and at that time I actually didn't know who the author was, but then by the time A Darker Shade of Magic came out, of course, like, she was like well into the way of being like a great author. And the book really showed that. I've loved seeing her writing and characters develop as the series and her books went on, and it's just really great. And I'm super excited for the third book, especially after the cliffhanger we had in the last book, which just about killed me. We have more gorgeous covers to put on our bookshelves, and that is definitely not a bad thing. I have super high expectations of that, and I have not even a single doubt that the author will deliver because she's just such a great person, a great writer, super dedicated to what she does, and honestly, I just love all of her works, and I can't wait to see what she throws at us next. Alright, so those are my winter 2017 reads that I'm very excited for this year. Are there any that didn't make my list that made yours, or any on my list that you can't wait for as well? Tell me below in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more bookish videos, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.